Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out July 31st, and depending on which tracking report you believe, it's either about to save the box office or quietly prove that superhero movies still have a problem, you know. And I don't think most people have noticed that both of those things can be true at the same time. Here's the setup though. The projections for this movie are all over the place, if we're being honest. One report has it opening around 180 million. Another report has it at 250 million. That's a massive spread for a movie that's 3 weeks out. And um, that gap right now, there is the most interesting story in comic book movies this month because it's not really about Spider-Man. It's to me it's about whether the whole genre is actually back or whether we just want it to be. So let's get into it. Is Marvel back or is this the last big swing before the bubble finishes deflating? So let me lay out what we actually know because the numbers matter here. And a lot of people are only hearing a version that fits what they already think. So Brand New Day opens July 31st. Destin Daniel Cretton directing. Tom Holland back as Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And this time he's up against the Incredible Hulk, the Punisher, those two individuals, street level Spider-Man plus two of the heaviest hitters Marvel got. So that's a strong pitch on paper. On paper it looks is a good lineup. Now the tracking, the deadline 3 weeks out had the movie at 180 to 190 million domestic for the opening weekend. Then the box office pro and a couple other trackers came in higher at 230 to 250 million. And the pre-sales back, the pre-sales back that up somewhat. The best first day pre-sales price, No Way From Home, 40 million banked in advance tickets back in June. So for context though, No Way, No Way Home open, No Way Home open at 260 million. That's the franchise record. Second biggest domestic opening ever behind Endgame. So even the low estimate, that 180 million, makes Brand New Day the biggest opening of 2026 so far. Past Toy Story 5 and the high estimate puts it knocking on where No Way Home was at. So we'll see. So no matter what, this is a hit. Let's be clear about that. Nobody's calling this a flop. The question is what kind of hit and what it means. So let's make the optimistic case because it's real to me. If you've been paying attention to the box office this year, superhero movies have been shaky. The reporting straight up says franchise IP had a rough July. Supergirl came in under expectations. There's been this cloud over the whole genre for a couple of years now. The fatigue conversations. People are tired of the capes conversation. You've heard it. I've seen versions of it. And then Spider-Man shows up and the pre-sales go through the roof. Best sense, No Way Home. That's not nothing. That tells you the fatigue everybody keeps talking about. It has an exception. And the exception is Spider-Man. When, the character is right and the movie looks like an event, people still show up in big numbers. So the optimistic read is superhero fatigue was never really about superheroes. It was about movies. Give people ones, give people movies that feel essential, that feels like it matters, and the audience can get back on track. So Brand New Day proves the appetite never left. It was just waiting for something worth leaving the crib for. So that's the Marvel's back argument. Now, case that it's not that simple. But here's where I want to push back on the celebration just a little. Spider-Man is not a fair test. It's single most bulletproof character in the entire genre. He is the one Marvel property that stayed golden throughout the years. So using, Spider-Man to prove superhero movies are healthy is like using the best student in the class to prove school is doing great. Um, but look at the spread again, though. Some trackers say 180, some say 250. Why is that gap so wide this close to release? Because even the trackers aren't sure how much of the old magic is left. No Way Home had three Spider-Man movies. No Way Home had three Spider-Man, multiverse, years of build up, and it hit at the exact moment before the fatigue set in. Brand New Day is trying to me recreate that lightning with Spider-Man and the mystery villain. The buzz is strong, but it's not No Way Home strong, and the tracking knows it. And that's the port where there's the port that should give you pause. Is Spider-Man the most reliable character that they have with the Hulk and the punch stacked on top? If that opens at 180 instead of 250, that's not a triumph, a victory to me. That's a warning, because if the safest bet is in the genre can only manage the low end, what happens to everything that isn't Spider-Man? So the pessimistic read is this doesn't prove the genre is healthy. It proves Spider-Man is healthy. So those are, to me, that's two different things. But I think the movie is going to be big. I think it opens up around, I would say, I think 200 million will be the max. Everybody spends weekends, saying Marvel is back, but I think the narrative is going to be half true and halfway a trap. So we'll see how it all play out, man. But to me, it's only a trap if the studios take the wrong lessons. If they look at Spider-Man doing Spider-Man numbers and conclude that they can go back to cranking anything out with a cape, then they're gonna walk right back into the exact fatigue they climbed into. Climbed out of. They just got out of. So the lesson behind Brand New Days and superhero movies work again is good, essential feeling movies work, and everything else is on notice. So to me, it ain't back yet, but it's on parole for right now. So we'll see how it all play out, man. But some of these characters, man, I think would do better if we just put them on streaming platforms, man. Every character Marvel have, every like main character that Marvel has in its catalog don't need a film. Some of them can be good for series like they did with Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, the Defenders, things like that. They would do better. But we'll see how it all play out. I think it's gonna be a good week for Spider-Man. Brand New Day. I might go see it at the theater, so we'll see. All right, that's all I have for y'all for right now. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel about this movie. Are you gonna go see it? Does this movie put Marvel back on track? We'll see how it all play out. I'm out.